I bet that you have never heard of this British horror movie. I don't even know how I came across this film, but only 6,000 people logged it on Letterboxd and the reviews sounded incredible. Let me read two of the reviews for you, and then we're going to talk about this movie, what the movie even is, and yeah, one of the most purely cinematic representations of a nightmare that I can think of. And the second review is easily the scariest thing I've watched in the last couple years. Everything after the father telling his daughter that he can't make it is dread, discomfort, and dark magic. This movie reminds me a little bit of David Lynch, Michael Haneke, mixed in with the movie The Vanishing. It is a whole lot of stuff that I really love, and every single time I come across a hidden gem that I really enjoy, I feel like I have to share it with you because only 6,000 people have logged this movie on Letterboxd, and nobody's talking about this movie, so I want to talk about this movie. So let's talk about The Appointment from 1982. This movie is definitely a little bit obscure. It is a forgotten British supernatural thriller that many horror fans I feel like have never heard of, and if you love horror movies then obviously you have to watch this movie. It stars Edward Woodward. That is a difficult name to say. He is in the movie The Wicker Man, and it was directed by Lindsay Vickers, who only actually made this one feature film. So what is The Appointment about? Well, let me read you the synopsis. Let me give you a bit of a breakdown of the story, and I'll tell you why I think you should watch it, what the story's about, all that sort of stuff. So the film begins with a girl mysteriously disappearing in the woods, and 3 years later a young violinist named Joanne is preparing for her big recital. Her father Ian tells her that he can't attend because of a work appointment, which creates tension between them. This is one thing that I will touch upon again. The relationship between father and daughter is very weird in this movie, but I'll not say anything about it just yet. Also, the father looks like Keir Starmer and the daughter looks like Clairo. I don't know if that helps or makes it worse, but I feel like I have to let you know. And from this point, the family begins to experience nightmares, strange visions, and premonitions. The boundary between dream and reality starts to blur, with Ian haunted by images of car crashes and Joanne seemingly linked to something sinister in the woods. Everything builds towards this fateful day of Ian's appointment, where dread and the inevitable takes over. So as I said, this came out in 1982, and the second you watch this movie, you're like, this feels like a TV movie. But it's interesting that I say that because the director planned to make this a part of a series called A Step in the Wrong Direction, but the series never happened. So there's just kind of like this weird standalone movie. And the reason I said it reminded me of David Lynch is because it just reminded me of Mulholland Drive, because that started off as a TV special, and there's just a lot of similarities, a lot of like ambiguous vibes, and it's very atmospheric. Some things don't make sense. It's quite surreal. And when you watch this, you're going to be reminded of maybe like a little bit of a David Lynch, maybe like a British version of David Lynch. And also, if you're kind of like American and you want to look into kind of like British lifestyle, obviously, not every British family is haunted, but the fact that this is kind of like, this movie is very British. It's shot in the countryside. All of the accents are like this, and everybody talks so formally. I feel like when like an American person thinks of a British person, they imagine somebody like the people in this movie. This film is quite ambiguous because this film never really explains its supernatural forces outright. And if you know me, I love things like this where we're not kind of like spoon-fed every single answer. Everything is kind of like suggested, it's dreamlike, and it's open to interpretation. And if you know me, I love movies like that so much. And whenever I watch this, I love a movie when it ends, you have so many theories, there's so many talking points. Why do people not talk about this movie? It's class. But I feel like it's very important to mention that there's this weird, I don't know what you'd call it, tension between the daughter and the father. The daughter is obsessed with her dad. Like, she has pictures of him everywhere. She thinks about him at night. And the dad has dreams about his daughter. But what makes it weirder is this is never really explored. He just has a dream about her, and there's like some dogs in the dream, and she's like waiting for her dad to walk into her room, and then we kind of just forget about it. Very weird. She is obsessed with her dad. Like, she got a book from her mom and dad for like a music book for her birthday, but she folds away her mother's notes so she can have like her dad's notes centered on the page. Very weird dynamics, and it definitely makes you feel quite uncomfortable at times. And the fact that it never really gets addressed and it doesn't really go anywhere makes it even weirder. And this relationship definitely has hints of jealousy, dependency, and very unhealthy attachment. And the title of this movie is even interesting because it suggests fate, the appointment, and no matter what Ian does, events are leading to an unavoidable conclusion. And the dream logic in this movie is really interesting because nightmares bleed into reality, and it makes you question what's real and what isn't. And what I really love about this movie is this is definitely atmosphere over action. It's not like a gory slasher, it's about dread, silence, and waiting for something to happen because you know something is going to go wrong. It's just a matter of when. And I forgot to mention one of the biggest strengths of this movie, and that is its sound design and score, because it builds tension. It is so creepy, it keeps you on the edge of your seat. It is so effective. It's extremely unsettling, and it's a slow burn style that rewards people who are patient. And believe it or not, I don't seem as like I'm not patient with anything in life, but with movies I am. It makes no sense at all. There are definitely some weaknesses to this movie, I'm not gonna lie. Some of the performances and kind of like relationships, like the way they talk to each other, feel a little bit forced. Like this movie in every single way feels like a TV movie. It just does. But that's okay, it has like its unique own charm, and it takes a little while for you to kind of warm up to it, but once you do, it's great. And as I said, it's very slow, so it's definitely not for everybody. If you do not like slow movies where very, very little happens, don't watch this movie. It's not for you. And I feel like a lot of people would definitely find this frustratingly vague because this movie does not tell you a lot. It does not spell out what's happening. And I think for a lot of people that would drive them a bit silly, drive you a bit crazy. And obviously another thing that some people might not like is the weird relationship and tension between father and daughter. Just might not be for everyone. I thought it was interesting. I do wish they explored that a little bit more. And another big weakness in this movie, it's funny. It's funny. There's a scene towards the end of the movie that I won't mention because I don't want to spoil it, but it is just over the top and goofy, and yeah. Also, I forgot to mention this movie is 90 minutes long. We love 90-minute movies here. We love them. And it's a shame because this movie was definitely overshadowed by films like The Shining or The Wicker Man, but I think it's now appreciated for its like atmosphere, weirdness, and uniqueness, because I googled this movie, I checked on Reddit, and a lot of people have heard about this movie, but just not enough. Hopefully that convinces you to watch this movie. If you enjoy atmospheric, slow British horror movies, then go check this out, and please tell me what you thought about this movie. Maybe somehow you've heard about this movie, and if you did, please give me your review of the movie. I would love to hear and yap to somebody about this film. It's so cool, and again, as I said, it might not be for everybody, but I really enjoyed it, and I love recommending kind of like these hidden gems that I feel like not enough people are talking about to you. So that's everything I have to say. Go check out this movie, and thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.